As an Overwatch coach, I frequently ask myself how I can be a better coach and deliver information in an understandable way. That's when it dawned on me. I could just copy what good coaches are already doing. Today's going to be the first day on this new quest where I get coached at Overwatch and then rate the coaching on a scale of 1 to 10 so that you don't have to find out the hard way. I'm going to do this by scoring the coach in 3 different categories. The first category is attitude. Are they pleasant to work with? Do they seem like they actually want to coach me? Is their feedback delivered in an appropriate manner? The second category is understandability. Can the average player understand what they're teaching? Is the knowledge too theoretical? Does the coaching actually make sense? The last category is going to be practicality. Is their feedback easily implemented? Did they specifically talk about what you need to do to improve? Each of these areas will be scored out of 10, and then the average score will be calculated to rate each coach. Finally, I'll make a personal comment about which type of player would benefit the most from the type of coach I review. Our first coach of the series is going to be Realth. Realth reached out to me a few months ago on Discord and we've been in contact ever since then. He's got his own active Discord, he participates in the Overwatch Reddit a lot, and he streams on Twitch multiple times per week. All his links will be down in the description below for you to check out. To get coached by Realth, all you need to do is join his Discord and submit a replay code with the correct information to his VOD submission channel. Currently, anyone can get a 20-minute review for free, and if you want more than that, you can check out this Google Doc where he links all of his services and how much each will cost you. With all that out of the way, let's get into the review. Our first category to cover today is going to be attitude. Throughout the entire coaching process, it's truly been a pleasure to work with Ralph. From scheduling a time, to giving constructive criticism during the review, to answering my random questions, all the way to the follow-up questions after the review, I've had absolutely no complaints. I've never once felt disrespected or looked down upon for making mistakes. Ralph is someone who genuinely seems interested in the coaching he's doing and feels both approachable and respectful. For these reasons, he's getting a 10 out of 10 in the attitude category. The next category is understandability. To be transparent, I should mention that my review is not going to reflect the average player's experience, since a lot of what Ralph and I discussed was macro strategy, like which angles are important, who do I need to be positioning with, and recognizing important windows to develop your own angles or deny enemy development, instead of micro strategy like cooldown usage, cover usage, or properly using your ult, which I assume is going to be more prevalent for lower ranked reviews. With that out of the way though, I still think Ralph did an excellent job covering these difficult topics. By the end of my VOD, I felt like I had gained a new perspective on the match that could potentially help me in future games. The concepts were not so abstract that you would find them in someone's thesis paper, but also not so simple that I couldn't act on them. Because I feel like I could easily digest everything he presented to me, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10 for understandability. The final category is practicality. It's one thing to understand the information presented, but it's another thing entirely to understand how to translate that knowledge in-game and work on your weak points. For me specifically, I left my review knowing I needed to work on recognizing windows of development and identifying angles I needed to protect, but I wasn't quite sure exactly how to do so. Is this something I should be focusing on mid-game, or should I be doing more work in the replay viewer? How long should I work on this before I feel confident in my knowledge of these topics? A lot of this was left up in the air, but I'm going to mention once again that these concepts are not simple and straightforward. There's no one magic sentence Ralph could have said to impart this knowledge directly into my brain, and I'm sure it would be much more straightforward if my issue was bad positioning or wasting cooldowns. Because of this, I'm going to give practicality a 7 out of 10. The final rating I'm going to give Ralph's coaching is a 9 out of 10. I think Ralph is very well suited to players who want to learn about the global concepts of Overwatch, like composition strengths or weaknesses and angle management. If you have a more specific focus like tracer mechanics or learning how to ult track, I think a lot of the valuable information you would receive during a review would go over your head and you might be better off just finding a specialist. There are other factors you should keep in mind aside from just what I've talked about though. The coaching is completely free and he gets through each VOD fairly quickly so you don't have to budget multiple hours of your day for coaching. I would highly recommend joining his Discord, getting a review, and participating in his live streams if you want to get better at Overwatch. Again, all his links will be down in the description below. Make sure to leave a comment letting me know which coach you want me to review next. The rest of this video will be the actual coaching session so you can get a better idea of what to expect from a review. Without further ado, here it is.
Hi dude, how you doing?
I'm doing good, how are you?
Yeah, very well. What led you towards me? This was a surprise, but a welcome one, obviously.
Yeah, so I do VOD reviews and I try and VOD review my own gameplay as well, but I went through this game. It was a pretty difficult game for me, and obviously I knew you before. A couple months ago we reached out,
Yeah, of course.
and I couldn't figure out quite what was wrong with this game, and I just wanted a second perspective. And I know you do VOD reviews. I've watched them in the past, and I kind of liked them. I didn't want to like wait 3 weeks to try and get on a Spylo stream or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
He can be very difficult to get a hold of nowadays.
Yeah, and understandable. I mean, he's a busy guy now. So.
Oh yeah, he's making bank off it. He
Yeah.
doesn't need your money, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have. Okay, so but first off, I think we need to clear up some stuff for obviously my viewers and your viewers. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm another content creator in the space. Obviously, I'm wrecked. I'm a top 500. I'm like low top 500 is how I describe myself. So low top 500 support player mainly. I do coaching in all the roles, but support's my best role. That's what we're gonna watch here, obviously. And this specific code is gonna be of like one of the most stacked lobbies I've ever been in. So this is like top 10 players in this lobby. You guys might not know the names, but like Lance, Champ 5, Sure4 is like GM2. Happy's the rank 1 DPS in NA right now, but he's playing support obviously for this game. Um, but yeah, I'm just
Cool.
a lowly top 500 support player. Do a little bit of coaching, a little bit of streaming on the side.
Lovely. Okay, so before we start, obviously, like there's some more important things. Do you think the right turn on a red traffic light is a good traffic system?
Um, well, I've never thought about that one before. I would have to say yes though, because I'm all about saving time. So
Okay, are you on Blizzard payroll?
no, I'm not.
And Jane versus Spilo, which one's better?
I liked Jane until I realized what he was like outside of the Overwatch scene.
I have no
And
idea. So it's Spilo, is it?
yeah, I used to love Jane, not anymore.
Okay, cool. Last one, obvious one, 6v6 or 5v5. You're gonna
Oh,
have
I
to
know
make a
what you want.
stance.
I know what you want me to say here,
No, I
but
don't want you to say anything. I want you to be honest.
I personally enjoy 5v5 more than 6v6, but it's probably just because the balance in 6v6 was never at the level that they have it at now.
Cool,
So
cool. Yeah, so clearly on Blizzard payroll. Lying about the first one. Excellent. Right, let's go. Get him out there. Yeah, get him out. Cool,
whatever.
cool, cool, cool. Right, let's so this I had a blurb for this. Let's just bring it up. This is obviously I'm hilariously bad at everything I do. Highly competitive poke game with multiple top 10 players. Happy Lance Shaw 4, despite being a top 500 player, felt very outclassed and couldn't get anything to work. Already voted it, and it's not my best game, especially since Baptiste is rough. Looking to get comfortable in these lobbies. Cool. Right, let's go. What comps are you working with?
We have full comms in this game. By the way, your screen share
Broken?
is not showing for. Oh wait, never mind. I'm back. It was my side. But we
That's
had
okay.
full comms in this game, so everyone was talking except for Sure4. But I think Sure4 was still listening.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I mean, Xrod was giving a lot of calls about like what we're doing, where we're going, and then Ninwai was doing a lot of ult tracking as well. And we're all ult tracking in the top 500 usually, but he was like, we were talking pretty good. So basically full comms in this game.
Oh, cool. Okay. In terms of like what the enemy team have, what you have, like you're in kind of like a stable Anna Brig, kind of like they're trying to get the angle control on Tracer, trying to get the Cassidy into a good position. With they're rolling
Yeah.
out on Junker Queen on this one. It's very hard to
Yeah.
get to the high ground, isn't it?
This is a pretty Sigma dominated map in top 500. Like lots of like Baptiste Zen is like really common on this map, I would say. But Baptiste is just not gonna be my best pick, so I'll start on Honor Kiri almost all the time. And then if I like have to switch to the Baptiste later because my team needs it, I will. But I usually never like default to that character. So Ana's just kind of like a comfort pick, and I still think you can play comfort picks in top 500. I mean, there's one tricks on every hero, but it's probably just a little bit better to be on a poke comp here rather than a JQ.
So your opinion, why Anna has like a 46% win rate?
I think Ana still works. I mean, my win rate on Ana is like 60% right now. I know there's even better Ana players than me out there, but you just have to basically hit nades and then you win games, which is a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, I think like Overwatch 2 is such a more mobile game that any character that can't rotate fast with their team and be comfortable with like peeing for themselves is like pain.
Yeah, I think Ana Briggs making a big comeback now, though.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely
don't
Winston.
know. Yeah, I don't know what exactly triggered it, but it feels pretty solid.
I think what triggered it is people realized that Briggs are really good. It took like, I don't know why it took so long. Like that 6 to 5 second repair pack buff came in, and it took like about a month before people realized, oh wait, that's actually incredible. Like,
Yeah.
really OP. And then obviously Nano Boost has always been amazing, and just rotating for Nano Boost is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I played 100 games of Brig only in Season 9, and honestly, it felt kind of terrible. So, she got a couple changes since then, but I didn't know if they were going to be as impactful as they were. You see this point where kind of just getting free card space, so I'm not worried about really what I'm just trying to stay alive here, right, against Tracers and but
Yeah, so
they're kind
you're
of just giving us this space, so I'm playing pretty safe.
sure. Yeah, you're playing under. In terms of playing under versus fighting out the angle, is that just the call that Tracer's going to be up there and you don't want to really
I'm way
do it?
more worried about getting poked out if I'm playing like because my default position is going to be up on the rock high ground, kind of where
Yeah.
she is. I'd be rotating up there, but it's just so easy to catch a volley in the face, or like, of course, Tracer's going to get pulse this fight, so I'm worried about pulse, and I don't want to be too far away from my brig because good brigs can sometimes catch a pulse bomb for you. So I'm
Yeah,
kind
which is
of, I
kind of
mean, this
crazy.
is just, yeah. Also, my Cass is here, and with Surefour on your team, you're going to feel like pretty comfortable that he can mark a Tracer. So
Kind of weird
I'm
that
just
Surefour's
being,
not taking high onto left. Like it's kind of weird that they're just walking down main, but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
The
I think
classic,
we're all just playing pretty safe with the poke here,
yeah.
but
We're just like basing it off an alt fight.
yeah,
The amount of healing Brig does is crazy. Yeah, you go aggressively for that fight on the Tracer instead of just like going with the Brig. I think you probably should go with the Brig, keep that overshield stacking up.
yeah. I was a little worried if I walked forward too much, and that was just slow reaction time. I didn't think I could get away from it. I thought the corner was my best bet, and then I realized I'm definitely dead if I stay in the corner. But it was kind of too late to do anything about that. But the
Yeah,
fight
sure.
against the Tracer, you see, I walk out of gas towards the enemy team to get away from the Tracer, but I don't want to push too far forward in case they, kind of hold the ground there. So I decided it'd be better to try and hit a nade or a sleep on Tracer and walk back, but it
I
probably
think,
could have been a little
yeah,
safer. I mean,
the
I have a cast and a brig, right? So
I think the trouble is like taking the duel with the Tracer on this corner makes it so the Tracer doesn't have to be an LOS with the rest of your team. Whereas taking on this corner means the Tracer has to like actually be under risk in order to challenge you
yeah,
and chip you down.
yeah.
I mean,
This is
maybe a little micro positioning.
Yeah, this is where all the problems are going to come in. So second point was really, really rough for us. We just couldn't make. We actually never got through second point. Spoilers, but
Added on payload
four and
is
a half.
pretty rough.
Yeah, we calmed it. I told him I was on payload. I told him I wasn't going to stay on payload that long. Like I'll set up for next fight here. You'll see, but a lot of things just go wrong in a row, and some of them feel out of my control. I know they're not. They're definitely not all out of my control, but I'm thinking maybe I should have just swap after this nano. I'm not sure. Well, that's why I'm here, trying to figure out what I should have done.
So let's go for game state here. We have Nano, we have Rampage, we've got High Noon. Enemy team's got double support ult, Flux, and High Noon as well. Cool. In terms of poking angles, you really want to be like here, like early. You really want to be like here early. You want the wide nade angle basically. If you can't get a
Right.
nade on Ana, I think honestly the character's pretty invalid, especially in Overwatch 2.
100%. 100%.
So the aggressive staging for the poke is what I want to see real fast. So we don't start with a random nade at that. Is that just a call on our poking positions and not being able to follow up? Or
So, what I've experienced, this is kind of like no one taught me this. This is kind of just how I've always played and what's worked for me is I like to, if I'm not being pressured a lot, right? So in this game, I don't know why, but their Tracer wasn't really on me very much. I probably weak because we were Tracer dueling a lot. But I've noticed like my sleep is kind of not doing anything. I've not really had to use it for defense. So I like to go for the sleep first if no one's pressuring me, because it makes it way easier for me to line up the nade, and then we can count down a 3-2-1 on the sleeping target.
yeah,
Usually
the
it's a
1-2
free kill.
punch. It was always
Yeah,
on Reinhardt's in 6v6 in Overwatch 1. You just throw
yeah,
the sleep out because you get a 3-second chance to get the nade if they block the
yeah.
sleep. So you basically
I'm
get
a
two
really
chances.
I'm a big fan of sleep first and then nade second if no one's really pressuring you in a game. In this game, even with them having the tracer, like I said, I was not really under any pressure. So
Yeah, there's no crazy ults that you need to stop here. So
yeah,
I don't mind the sleep first.
yeah,
And then you get the nade lineup. Beautiful.
yeah. And
Oh, you're
then
getting 5 orbed. Standard.
I catch a volley right to
Oh,
the
yeah, there
face.
you go.
Yeah, yep. And I think this I probably could have seen this coming. I don't know. It's pretty difficult, but you'll notice when I play on, I don't scope in very much. I only really scope in when I have to. Losing field of view and losing movement speed is just a death sentence
Yeah.
usually in top 500. But this was like the first time I really started to scope in, and I immediately catch 5 orbs to the face. So
I think one thing you're gonna have to look for is there's a give and take around being around cover where if you're off the cover, you're not on a sideline, people are likely to spam if they like peek a corner and immediately spam it. But if you're on the corner, you're gonna get it. But like when you're off the corner, you can't peek into cover as fast. So like there's a give and take there. I don't know. You'd already shown your position a couple of times with sleep and nade, so realistically maybe you could predict it, but it will just call it an L.
Yeah. And I'm like more aware of it now. Obviously, after you die to something once, generally we're pretty good about like correcting in game and not doing it again. But
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's just so difficult against this poke comp. They start taking a ton of angles later in this round. It's hard for Ana to really get anywhere.
so game state here. I really do feel like if you don't take right, you're kind of screwed here. But like Sigma's just gonna hold that strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to do anything on this map without taking right. So I think like you and Shortfall could probably push off Sigma. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we eventually figured it out as a team, but I think we spent 2 or maybe even 3 fights just kind of bumming it down main for some reason.
Yeah,
So
don't expect top 500 players to be smart. They're all dumbasses. They will just bomb it down main for no reason in particular, just because press W, press click heads, etc.
yeah. I mean, sometimes it works, but it's not going to work against the people we're facing in this game.
I think the thing is it works when you already have an advantage. So like the fact that it works half the time is quite like obvious, because half the time you can have an advantage, half the time you're not going to be.
I feel like I have to play under here because of the poke angles they have. I'm not really sure.
You don't have much,
Right.
much ability to do anything else. You're trying to stay in LOS of the Junker Queen.
Yeah.
Question is whether you want to pair yourself with the Cassidy and go left. Do you have a read on where the Tracer is? That's my question more than anything.
No, I have no idea where their tracer is. I do know Happy is continuously taking like short flanks, short off angles, and sending volleys. So I'm not trying to be like too aggressive on any of these off angles because the last thing I want to do is get picked first. And I'm honestly terrified of Happy. That guy's a monster.
Yeah,
So
honestly, I'm looking at your Briggs positioning, and I think your Briggs like so weirdly positioned. Like they're going under. They're just following your Junker Queen the entire time, which means that like in this scenario, I'm thinking, do I want to play a character that can just like go on the off angle and do the DPS pocket to win an angle more so, or do I want to play a character that can do the throughput, the big nade plays? Obviously, you can do the off angle control with nade,
yeah,
and 1v1 duels, but
yeah.
question.
I think. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. That's fine.
I think I realized that after this fight that on like once we're not set up on this point anymore. So right, you saw first fight, I'm set up behind the rock on high ground. I get an easy sleep and nade combo.
Mhm.
Pretty good, like decent value if I hadn't died. But after this, when we're stuck low ground, basically every fight, I think Ana just can't really get value here, right? Who am I like where am I getting a nade from? Where am I hitting a sleep on anyone here? If we're playing under
Mhm.
in I don't even know what the call it is for that big building. I'm blanking right now. But I think after this, I could have just tried to dump Nano and switch. I think would have been the better play here than trying. I think I forced Ana all 3 minutes, but as of like how to play better in the game on Ana, I'm just not sure what to even do in this situation.
Okay, so the call's basically like the consistent off-angle control, which Anna's pretty bad at unless she wins a duel with Nade and Sleep, which costs her cooldowns, versus the kind of characters that can do the angle control themselves, like Jericho and Baptiste, and like the general 1v1 characters. There's kind of like a balancing concern in Overwatch where as you have more mobility, you're able to do more ballsy duels because it's safer to do the more ballsy duels, and therefore you're more inclined to actually like take the more like deep pressure or push out the squiffy fights like this because you have a escape tool if you actually need it. Whereas Anna exists off of like a setup and an execution because her cooldowns are very like thirsty. Like they hit with this massive pressure all at once. So you either need like a poking angle that can capitalize on that massive pressure, or you need staging in order to actually be able to do something onto that pressure. And yeah, as you said, fighting from poor staging with Anna is really like difficult.
Yeah, it feels impossible sometimes.
So here I'm thinking like the only thing you can do on Anna is actively fight for staging. In which case, like, you purposely like shove yourself straight through here with whoever the fuck will come with you. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind you go through here and nano the fucking Cassidy. Like that's fine by me. Like, because if you don't win this staging, you do just kind of lose. Because
Yeah.
well, it's not gas station. The high side saloon, I guess we call it, is such a power position in the map that honestly, if you don't get good angles on it, you just die.
Yeah.
So I kind of sorry.
It feels tough to force top right, especially without a tank, because it's just you see they have the poke angle on the stair. The staircase is where a lot of people play here on defense. They walk upstairs and then they get 5 orbs through
Oh yeah,
the
100%.
tunnel, and then Sigma
This
can
angle here.
hold that for Sigma can hold that just for years against a queen. So
But the fact
I
that
don't
they
know.
have to be here, 5 orbing that angle and pressure it, and like I get it, the Cassidy's not going to want to walk out, but the fact that they have to be paying attention to this wide angle means that they're not actively standing over here, and
Yeah.
that you can take the other wide angle a little bit easier. And
Yeah.
yeah, Anna Brig is a comp that plays from good staging to bad staging for the most part.
Yep.
Really loves the advantage. Honestly, I'd go Brig Zen. That's just me. I love Brig Zen because Zen is so good at fighting for good long range angle control in places like this. I just pair myself up with the Cassidy and then just go through here. Let the Brig just play around on low ground with the Jump Queen.
Yeah.
That's my call.
I didn't even think about that, honestly. This fight's already over, down 2 by the time
Yep.
they get on us.
No problem. Just letting it play for a bit.
Yeah, I've had nano for 2 fights now as well, but I don't know. I don't feel like I had a way to use it in either of those fights.
Yeah, so the reason why Anna's so good with Winston is Winston gets free staging, no matter like how good the advantage or bad the advantage is in terms of like your map control. So Nano is always incredibly good with Winston, and Winston with Nano is incredibly good at forcing space. So basically, you end up playing like the double bubble style, where the Winston gets thrown, use your resources in order to guarantee the space, and then we set up a poking angle on that space that we control by the Winston.
Yeah.
So essentially,
Yeah.
I want to see you looking to use the Winston space in order to rotate to a better position where you can actually do something with nade, or to
Yeah,
like
well, we're not gonna see that here.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a good fight. Oh, actually make it through this time. Okay, maybe it's next fight. We'll see.
Spoilers. See that nade right there, that's a death now. Like you kind of just dead now. Like 10 seconds,
Yeah.
you have no impact whatsoever. You may as well be playing Tourbillon and then just like having a hammer out.
Maybe I didn't need it either, but I couldn't tell where the poke damage was coming from on him, so I wasn't sure if he was in danger of dying because he just took so much damage from nowhere. I'm just.
You had to barrel yourself in with him because you had to be like so close that you couldn't actually see his health bar where he took the damage. I think he took 5 ult through low or something like that, but I'm not entirely sure.
Who knows, honestly.
Or maybe Zen was round. So here I'm thinking why the fuck is the Brig up there? That's what I'm thinking. Like the Brig needs to be down here supporting the DPS on this corner, challenging the Tracer and gas station. You need to be up here with the Winston.
Right. I'm thinking I need to be where the Winston is. Because I need a nade angle, and in low ground to high ground, I'm never gonna hit a nade where I'm at.
You need staging to do stuff with your abilities, and you need to be able to get this nano in. Like the faster this nano is, the better it is. I feel like you needed the nano last week. No, use the little lip. Use the little lip, right? No, right.
I didn't even realize.
now you realize Brick's doing it. Yeah, so that's a full L from you. Like if that nano doesn't go in with the Winston jumps, you just kind of thrown, and the nade was on the ground. I mean, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Slow to rotate high, and then I also probably just, I don't know, maybe I just didn't calm enough to let my Winston know I didn't have LOS with him when he jumped.
Oh, you have confirmed nano boost on? That's disgusting. What's wrong with you?
I love confirm. I swear by confirm. The funniest part is I have confirm on, and like 30% of my nanos are still on the wrong target because I'm just mashing Q as hard as I can
that's why it's terrible. It's the button, like the best button that you have to press immediately. It's like the same reason why you unbind the E key for the most part, so you don't have to move your fingers off WASD when you press it. Like, oh god. Confirm reduce the amount of boostios I create. Is that a good or a bad thing though, Placid?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about confirm. It is what it is. I don't know how I feel about that Nano either. I think if I used it earlier on the Brig when she's in rally and the Sigma's stuck in the small space, it would have been a lot better. I just waited too long.
Yeah, I think you've just completely lost the tempo in the fight. If you don't use Nano with tempo, Nano becomes so much worse. Like, you need to be setting the tempo with this ability. It's like Kitsune, but it like doesn't last for long enough so that it just matters. You can just use it for general advantage. It's like every single fight, Nano should be first, almost to a point. It's very rare to find an exception.
I really wanted to save it for like a Winston jump onto the Sigma, but I don't know. I felt like I was just waiting too long. It had already been like 2.5, 3 minutes with this Nano, and that is just kind of outrageous. So I wanted to get it off somewhere. I tried to put it on Lance when he was Tracer dueling on the high ground, but he recalled before I had it, and then Nanoing a Tracer without recall is kind of questionable to me. So
Yeah, well, the answer here is you should have said the words Nano Monkey and then Nano the Monkey, and then let him work out what he's doing with it.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if you've heard me talk about the concepts of like tempo and how much advantage you get from tempo.
I've heard a little bit. Probably not specifically from your streams though.
Okay, sure. So I'll explain my point, right? Everyone in Overwatch is idiots and they don't communicate and they don't know what a proportional response is. So you always get a disproportionate response, even if what you're doing is really fucking stupid. So essentially, if you nano boost this Winston, the enemy team's probably going to use 2 ults to respond to it, regardless of whether it's good or bad. Even in GM. Like, this is like a full thing up into Overwatch League. So setting the tempo becomes incredible just because every single person on the enemy team is going to find their own solution to the pressure you created. And they're all going to press their buttons separately or give up space separately, and they can't communicate when the pressure has been neutralized. They just have to press buttons. So you end up with not only ult advantage, but you end up with massive cooldown advantage as well. That's my point of view. So tempo is always prioritized.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah, it looks like our team's kind of missing like rule number 1 of Overwatch of use our little leggies to walk to a place where we have an advantage.
I blame this one on me playing Honest though, I think. I mean, I just don't know how to get through main here. And
I blame it on Winston being on main. Like, there's no world in which you don't go up here. I don't think there's a single world in which somebody engages from low there. Like, the Winston could engage from low and the rest of the team could engage from high, but...
I like... Go ahead.
No, I just think that there's no... You have 0 angle control, so even if the Winston does something, you have no staging to follow up on the Winston's moves.
Right. I feel like if my tank is playing Winston here and we're gonna be diving high ground, I feel like me playing main is okay because when my Winston jumps, I can have pretty good LOS on him when the focus is no longer on me. If he's jumping from main, it's no longer good because the attention's on main. But if he's jumping from high, and then I peek out from main while he's jumping, I think it's not bad because if I play, let's say I'm playing where I am, my Winston jumps height and I'm in this little corridor. It's too easy for the damage to get focused down like a small little line here. And I just don't have good LOS, right? So
no, 100%. Like, low here isn't great for staging for nade, but it's really good for damage staging. Like, it's really good in terms of like the deep angle you have into the enemy team. So if you want to be here, you need stability against the tracer, or you need a read on where the tracer is. But you really need complementary pressure from a different angle.
Yep.
Because if you don't have that complementary pressure, you do basically nothing from that angle. So the answer is, the real death now for this is the tracer being on stacked with you, I think. If the tracer was like staging here, waiting for the Winston to double blink in and put pressure on the backline there, it makes you being down there so much better. And the simple answer is just split. I don't know that's a hard call because in a way the Ana pick does just force the team to be a little bit more stacked because you've got a bad matchup against tracer. Ooh, Sigma just stood in the middle of nowhere and died. Ooh, we get Happy. I don't know what the hell Happy's doing there.
Happy was doing some crazy stuff this game.
So you got really caught in a rotation there. As you say, I actually think that the call is just to chill here, but you're never going to develop this angle in any way, and you don't have a good enough like complementary angle to you to actually do anything down here. So like, yeah, you're trying to rotate in order to get a good like 1v1 duel, but you're never going to get it without Tracer being in a good place.
All right, I don't know, I just felt stuck this whole game, and maybe, I don't know, if we win that first fight on this point, I think we roll, but I got picked first, and then the fight was over from there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, definitely all swings on that.
No idea how that misses. Well, actually, I do. I just missed, but felt like I hit him in game.
No idea how it misses. Oh, I didn't click him. Yeah, so you're just basically forced to play so close, and Anna can't put out any like aggressive pressure, and your team has no staging, so you can't use nade. Yeah, of course. Like the answer is, of course, I like Baptiste, because at least then you're going to be putting out a tiny bit more like left click pressure on somebody. Maybe you can do a little bit more of the pushing out the Tracer. On Anna, you just don't need a cooldown to do that. So like, yeah.
Right. I still feel like this fight is one of the few fights I probably could have played better, that I maybe didn't. My Discord is, if you can pause it for 1 second, my Discord's being weird. Does your Discord ever just like black screen and...
I feel like you should stop microwaving your graphics card, but sure.
Okay. All right. I am back. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
This fight is probably one of the ones I think I could have played a lot better, though. I get the nano here, and I remember calling out to my tank, like I was like 5 from nano, and I told him just live 5 from nano. And then I think I panic a little bit here with the Tracer behind me, and I'm trying to get the nano off, and it kind of goes to hell.
Yeah, the nano should have been instant, right? Like that's the only way you win this, just an instant nano.
I calmed it. I said I have it. I'll give it to you when you need it, and then I immediately jump on a pulse bomb, and I'm like, I just got to give it to him before I die. And yeah, I don't know.
I think your Brig's been inting this entire game, to be honest. She hasn't been stacking with you, and she hasn't been like going to a place to actively stop the Tracer getting in on you, and she hasn't been going off on a different angle with the DPS in order to enable their places when you're in a safe place. It's kind of like they're just WM wanting and not really understanding why they play the character.
Yeah.
At the very least, they're not like proactively controlling space by pushing the Tracer out preemptively. Let's go to second. Did this continue to be a mess?
A little bit. I'm on Baptiste now, and like I know Baptiste is just functionally a better character with this composition, but Baptiste is going to be like a much weaker character for me. I can still play him in top 500, but I don't have the comfort on Ana. Like I'm very comfortable in Ana, knowing where I need to be and what I need to be doing, and Baptiste is a little more rough for me on... I'm just not able... Like a lot of my value and the reason that I'm as high rank as I am is because of like my game sense and my ability to ult track and react to ults like that. And Baptiste is a very mechanical hero where you need to have really high APM to succeed with him, and I just don't really have that.
He's hard as nails.
Right. So you'll see here I have like a lot of trouble, doing weaving as well as other top 500 players weave, and just general positioning with Baptiste. I'm not as good as I am with Ana for some reason.
Okay, so weaving for the most part only really matters in the resource trade and the tank trade. But from what I see here, you're playing double Sigma. It's not going to be like, apart from just generating your ult as fast as possible, I don't think like the weaving's going to be impactful. So like even if you're bad at weaving, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and I'm thinking the important things is denying the Tracer positioning and denying the Zen being free and the Cassidy being free, and then keeping your angles in place. But again, like I'm seeing this complete like horseshit of the Sigma and the Sigma and the Cassidy and you stacked together. It just hurts my soul. Like that one person isn't over here with Brig. It just hurts my soul.
Yeah. And you'll see the Brig things becomes an issue later here. I think I probably could have helped her out a little more than I was this game, but yeah, I think it's a good space for her to hold as long as she's alive and while she's doing it.
I think you take the wide angle here. I know you got like fall off that is pretty limiting on Baptiste, but you dodge the 5 orb and you always have the drop down to there, and you can effectively challenge the left side angle without peeking main. So I do think
Yeah.
you take a little bit wider, but go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I feel like I heal bot a lot on Baptiste, and that's just kind of my playstyle in general. I'm like a safer support. I'm not super aggressive on any character, and so I'll realize I'm heal botting in a game, and I'll be like, I need to do damage. I need to shoot somebody. I'll take an angle to shoot somebody, and I'll immediately just get, I'll take 200 damage. And it's like, okay, maybe not that angle, but I don't know where to go.
Yeah, well, the thing in like season 9 and after that is because the health totals got increased and the sustain got increased. The idea of holding a position and fighting for that position with resources got a lot worse, and the idea of just timing yourself properly and taking away the enemy team's resources when they don't want them taken away got a lot better. So you don't need to do DPS. You need to do DPS at exactly the time that it matters in a very strict burst to deny the enemy team being able to do stuff as well. So, like, I'm not thinking about, like, oh, I need to start clicking on, like, the Zen and the Cassidy that are in a boring spot down main. Because it doesn't matter whether they're there, for the most part. Like, maybe you'll get a random kill, but they shouldn't be misplaying at this rank. What
Right.
matters is the Tracer staging back to here. What matters is the Cassidy being able to push through to this corner and, like, go wider so he can get, like, more damage in. What matters is the Brig staying there in general. The idea is to keep your developed positions and stop the enemy team developing their positions with your damage, not just doing damage.
Fair enough. I don't know. I think I look at the scoreboard too much, honestly, and I'm just not the stat stick that other supports at this rank are. So I get like self-conscious about the fact that I'm not doing 6,000 damage per 10 and 13,000 healing per 10 on Baptiste or whatever stupid numbers they put out these days. And I'm just like, I need to do more damage. I need to do more healing or whatever.
It's the concept that, like, you can play Brig and only use whip shot and genuinely make all the value that you can without left clicking. Like, you don't need to be actively damaging. You just need to be moving the enemy team's position into a worse spot over time, and then you'll just, like, win the game.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, no, you 100% pay attention to Shawfall here. Like, this is the time during their rotation where Shawfall has to be active. Like, you can't leave him not to be active. You can left click and right click, but you just, like, didn't look at his health bar for like a full second. Look at Shawfall do literally fucking nothing. He's AFK. He waited for a armor pack there.
Yeah. I don't know. His health bar was kind of okay, but maybe I could have given him a shot there. I believe that.
But it's not that his health bar's okay. It's the confidence to peek versus their headshot and maybe some Zen spam. Like, that.
Yeah.
That's the confidence. So he was inactive for a second, and therefore, like, the enemy... Like, let's just look at the positioning impact of him being inactive. So we'll go back here. So he's inactive for this period.
Yeah.
So it's not massive, but essentially Light's able to stand in the middle of nowhere and click the Brig a couple of times, and Happy's able to develop their angle over to the right side because he's inactive, and therefore the Brig takes a little bit of spam, which is sad, and, like, maybe you don't notice her instantly at low, but that's probably the reason why she went down, the positioning advantage rather than the lack of heal.
Right. Yeah, I definitely could have kept her alive there if I was paying a little bit more attention, but
yeah. And, like, that's a really easy thing to understand. So I don't like to focus on, like, moments like that where you're like, oh, yeah, well, she just fucking died because I didn't heal her. I like to focus on the kind of thing where it's like, okay, so I didn't react fast enough to healing the Cassidy, so the enemy's angles developed, and therefore the Brig was in a worse position, and therefore it, like, led me to make more mistakes in the future. Because that's, like, the three or four tier train of logic that you don't get when you're doing, like, when you're in the game. Everyone knows, oh shit, I didn't heal them. It's pretty easy to understand, but oh god, no.
yeah, I don't know what I was even doing here.
I was doing general healing and damage.
I was pressing buttons, I guess. I'm not really sure. I've windowed here to keep my Sigma alive. I might have been able to get away with just the lamp, but I feel like window was fine.
This is Shawfall not being able to do stuff at the moment. Like, look at Happy and Light on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, their angles were insane this whole game. I just felt like I was constantly being shot from 3 different places.
Yeah, so the Shawfall gets pushed by Lyre. Look at him for a second while you're doing that, so he has to come back to main in order to get healing. Your entire team's low, so you can't really complain about that. But once you get to here... This is the impactful fight.
Yeah, all of this comes from my Brig dying early, and that's why everyone's so low. And, you know, maybe could have prevented that. We wouldn't have had this problem.
Oh, yeah, no, you see that? Lance has to double blink over in order to challenge this position because it's so strong. They're not doing this because they're stupid. They're not doing this just because they want to grieve for poles, even though they do. But if they don't challenge Light and Happy on this angle, they lose this game. Like, it doesn't matter how many kills. If there are 5 of you in that corner and those two get to stand here, you lose. If they miss a pulse and everything. Sorry.
And I'm giving Lance the benefit of the doubt basically every single time. I know a lot of people might not know who Lance is because he's not a streamer or YouTuber, but he is probably one of the top 5 tracers I've seen, at least on ladder. I mean, this guy is champ 5, 70% win rate on tracers, so you know he's never like trolling your games, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it feels bad to lose a game when you get Lance on your team and Sure4. So
thank you very much for the gifted subs, Cozy. You are an absolute angel. I hope some of your, I assume that some of your friends are in here as well. I see a couple of names I don't recognize, so thank you very much. You're amazing. Who got an Elf Pulse? I haven't seen Elf Pulse for a little while. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Let's keep going. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here is you force Lance into the position that he doesn't want to be in, of challenging this in a bad place with no staging, with no blinks. Look at him. Ooh, that is that's a rough situation. That's no recall, no blinks, and he had to do this. That's the answer. So I think the answer here is you focus a little bit too much on main. You lost the Brig and didn't actively push out this angle, so it developed over time and you end up screwed.
Yeah. It all kind of snowballs from there.
Really, like, I think the whole of Overwatch is just learning to use your resources to put out the most like angular pressure on the enemy team as possible, and that's healing, that's damage, that's everything you have, in order to develop positioning over time. And essentially, you've just ended up healing the people that aren't doing anything interesting. Like Sure4 here, Sure4 has to stay at full health. Like, this isn't. Like, you can go over here, that's fine. Like, he's got the Zen on him, I guess. So you can split the angle and go with the Sigma. But with Brig on the opposite angle, you kind of do need to pocket him on first point. None of them are my friends yet. Trance goes in. They just disengage with that. Cool.
I think like my default playstyle when I play Baptiste, because I know, you know, I've played on teams before, I've coached teams before, like splitting angles, having 1 DPS on the off supported by 1 support. I'm pretty much I'm partial to playing with my tank usually, so like Baptiste pairs with the Sigma decently well, and then let my Zen kind of take the off angle with whoever or whatever DPS wants to take that off angle.
Yeah, it's all based on range though, for the most part. Like, Zen has higher range than Baptiste, so if you're on Zen back and Sigma wants to take this, and the Zen is better at dueling in a non-like lethal way. He's better at fighting for positions than Baptiste is. Baptiste is better at like doing the duel and not dying. So like here, I like Zen standing here more than I like you standing here, and I like you being able to be here and fight off the Tracer more than I like the Zen being here and fighting off the Tracer, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You're more likely to proactively position yourself towards the enemy Tracer than you are to do the opposite.
I think I might just need to be more aggressive in general. I feel like that's one of my biggest things I need to work on, and that's across like all my supports. I'm very safe, and sometimes it leads to me not getting enough value or not punishing people's positioning enough, or not.
Well, yeah,
I'm just not in a place to do it, or I'm not with the right teammate to do it, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I think the question is, like, is this safe if the enemy team get to take that side, or is this safe because you've actively pushed out this side? Like, you need to claim that positioning for yourself. You don't just get given it. So, yeah, maybe the safety or the perceived safety is like allowing them to develop a little bit too much, and that's why you're struggling. Oh, I'm almost get. Oh, nice. Carrying.
This was awkward.
Yeah, weird situation here. Like, I see you get that kill. I would just push out wide and challenge main so they can't rotate through and follow up on kills. Like, the moment light goes down, I would have gone wide and put some pressure out here and put myself onto cart here. Because, like, you're massively advantaged, but you're stuffing out their other angle.
Honestly, I'm not sure, like, where I'm going right there. I just blindly... I have no idea, man.
The kind of just, like, listing lazily in directions.
Yeah, Holding W, walking forward. Also, yeah, shouldn't be doing those in. I mean, it's fine to do the poke. He's not going to kill me there, but I do nothing to him. He can actually kill me.
Personally, I just put myself on top of gas station and keep Zen in the fight here. I'd probably put myself like over here so that I can support both angles and just completely discount my DPS because the Zen's doing like so much work right here. Sigma doesn't actually need healing. Like you probably just put yourself on this corner and enable like the most amount of lines as possible. But then I'm thinking if I'm going to do this anyway, I'll probably just play Kiri so I can actually challenge an angle at the same time. That's the trouble. Like Bap and Zen are kind of like lassoed together in a way because the moment Zen stops being active by taking chip damage, Baptiste's angle and the DPS angle are so much worse that you have to stay near them.
Yeah, and Kiri would be a lot better of a pick for me. Probably my best hero, but I think I'm probably just worried that my team's going to think I'm trolling if I play Kiri with this comp. I mean, and maybe that's a me, like I need to get over that issue.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty clear what happened here, right?
Yeah.
They've managed to develop the right angle, so you look at your Zen. Your Zen's actually doing a lot for you right here. If you were just able to like push this out in any way, like honestly, you're not leveraging the high ground, which is a bit weird on Baptiste as well. But like the Zen's doing a lot, so really all you need to do is survive here and keep the Zen in that angle, and they won't be able to do anything there. But you just push in. It's a bit sad.
Was Surfer over there and then got pushed out because I wasn't over there, or was he never really contesting that angle?
So Lance and Surefour
started over there. Yeah.
Lance goes down to half. Surefour takes the fight, takes a bit of chip, realizes there's no line of support, and gives it up. Cool. That's clearly one where Surefour is not confident in you. I'm gonna say that at the very least.
Yeah.
Which is sad. It's such a weird play walking all the way out here knowing they have full right side control to get a pick on the Baptiste who's sat behind cart. Such a weird play. It worked out pretty well for him, but I see a load of worlds where you get I can see a load of worlds where he gets pinned down for that. Cool. We got another fight here? I don't think we have another fight. Boop, 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 boop. Takes 40 damage, leaves. Provides no explanation. Okay, so I think there's some more stuff here. It's one of those, like, what actually matters on this map. The only thing that matters is stopping the enemy team getting right-side staging. This is cool. This pushes out the left-side staging. You guarantee that this is done, and then you push out right-side staging. Like, Lance is the only thing you should be looking at. You see that triple blink again?
Yep.
They do not want to be doing this, but they'll triple blink up to that to control the space. So the only thing that matters, once you get to this point right now, is making sure Lance can control right side. So personally, I'd be like full inting towards here. I'd probably just jump over here and just start doing this stuff. I mean, Sigma's so independent that honestly, you can just abandon them as a character.
Right. I think my recurring issue is not being able to identify the win condition. Honestly, I'm not sure what angle I need to be contesting on most of these fights.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of ideas. The idea is make sure you have poking angles that are as wide as possible that are active at the right times. So if somebody takes damage, they're basically inactive for a couple of seconds, and that can be like something that completely kills you. But you need to either route the two angles with Baptiste by being more or less in the middle so you can do both, or make it so that you have a very stable angle on the other side. For instance, like Brig with Cassidy, completely stable. You can't heal the Brig and Cassidy more and make them do more, quite frankly, because they've got armor packs and Brig's not doing anything anyway. So you can like go to the other side.
Yeah.
But this is just an example where you've got loads of pressure on left, and yeah, you just kind of like abandon the right side control for like really no real reason. I mean, I do talk about this kind of like to a point and to like my detriment quite a lot of the time, because at a certain point you do just need to do push and pull Overwatch where you press ultimates and press W, but
this fight and this one just feels bad the entire time, right? Like you know you're kind of in trouble when you're all just sitting underneath this building. You have absolutely no angles.
Yeah, you can't do anything here because you're tied to like full healing. Um, I feel like it would feel better to be able to like be Kyrian, play up here, and right click and fight out this high ground. Because you can't really do that on Baptiste. It's way too hard to do a Tracer fight at the same time. But on Kyrian, you can do a Tracer fight or at least try and poke out the Tracer and have full uptime on healing. So maybe
Yeah.
that's the answer.
And I'm terrified to play that high ground alone because Be Nice is permanently Zen orbed. So
Be Nice is permanently
I
Zen up there. Yeah, that's scary.
As soon as the window came out, but I don't think it actually mattered. Lamp would have died in a quarter of a second, and then Sigma would have died after it anyways. But it could have helped maybe a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just looking at your positioning, and I'm like, even in this scenario, the enemy's still developing better angles than you are over time, and you're not challenging the angles, which is fine. Like you can't do everything. You're playing Baptiste, and your entire team's like 1 HP, so you're gonna have to heal them.
Yeah.
But this is the reason why you're losing, not the random chaos going in with the old generation up front. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, rough game.
It is a rough game, but like there's lows in there.
Yep. Yeah, this was worth my time, definitely. Like feel good about going over it. Saw definitely you pointed out some things that I was not seeing on my own. So
excellent. Beautiful.
Hopefully in another couple months I won't be so outclassed in these lobbies, but you never know when you're against players like this. Some days they're just going to do things that you're not ready for, you're not able to react to. So
yeah. I think one thing you really should look out for in your VOD reviews is you should look out for Tracer triple blinking to challenge your position, because that's always something that Tracers don't want to do and they're forced to do. And GM Tracers are going to do it, but they're going to do it to their detriment. And if it's something that you could have solved or you could have helped solve, then that was actually what was important in the match at the time, because the Tracer probably knows. The Tracer probably like better in terms of knowing what to fight than you, and they probably are in the right place. Yeah?
Yep.
Beautiful. Yes, Random, this is right.
Appreciate the review.
No problem at all. Yeah, don't be a stranger. It's like really nice to talk to you, like genuinely. I'll see if I can. I'll see if we can set something up in the future. I'm not actually an Overwatch player because I am a degenerate that plays it in replay view. So all I do is play in replay view and complain about 5v5. That's pretty much my entire shtick. So yeah, hopefully we can set something up in the future. If you want any other like coaching or anything like that to come talk to me about a VOD, even if you're just like a little bit, if you watch it back and you're like not 100% sure, you want to shoot me specific scenarios, shoot it. We'll go through. We'll go through it at some point.
Of course. I'll stay in contact. I'll let you know if I get anything interesting that you want to pick apart or maybe just take a look at, and go from there.
Cool, man. Well, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I'll see you around.
Yeah, take care.